Welcome to Healing Generations, a podcast creating a dialogue uplifting the importance of healing, strengthening, and supporting our communities, and that addresses the disparities and inequities in communities of color. Healing Generations is brought to you by the Healing Generations Institute, a collaborative initiative of the National Compadres Network and the Brotherhood of Elders. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on our new releases.
Welcome. I want to welcome all our listeners to our Healing Generations podcast. And this is a podcast that's hosted monthly by the National Comadres Network. My name is Debra Camarillo, and I'm here accompanied with Maestras Susanna Armijo, my comadre that I have the pleasure to cruise on through the podcast world with. Comadre, how you doing?
Thank you, comadre. I'm doing good today. I just, every day's another step towards more healing, more challenges, more lessons.
Yes.
But it's all good. It's all good. And I just, like always, just give thanks to Creator and the ancestors for allowing me to be here still and to serve and to hang out with you too, comadre, and all of our Comadres Network.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, we have such a blessing, because this is a podcast that's, it's focused to mujeres and having the conversation that we have. And it's been such a blessing. We've been able to speak to many different women.
Absolutely.
Right? From just like all different backgrounds and they have all their different gifts. And we're really blessed, comadre, to be able to do this.
I feel very honored. And it just really, every time we do this, I just get more and more inspiration, more understanding, and it just really calls my spirit back to myself and inspires me to continue doing the work that we do and knowing that, we just never know what our words and our service, the difference that it's making in somebody's life on so many different levels. So to be able to offer what we can in the work that we do and then bring all of our mujeres along with us to share their medicina as well. It's just so enriching and so inspiring. And I know when I talk to people, they always, comment on how powerful it is and how much it's changed their life as well. So just very honored.
Yeah, it's a blessing. And, I'm here in the Bay Area and I'm sitting right now on Ohlone territory, And I think that that's one of the beauties, right, when we talk about our indigeneity, our communities, our ancestors from all over the world. The beauty of that connection because we're grounded, to this Mother Earth. And we've had the privilege to share and speak about many traditions.
Yes.
And the blessings, especially as mujeres, as women, we have a medicine that our brothers do not have, the carriers of the next generation, and this ability to create in that manifold of different arenas. We have the blessing to do that, and I'm really excited to share about our guest today because she comes from another part of the world. That's where, her origins come from and her ancestors come from. And I've had the privilege to walk with her for many years and the blessing that she has been in my life. And I'm going to share a little bit more about that as we go forward. But I was just contemplating the beauty that and the honor that we have had to be able to sit and have these wonderful conversations with women from all different places, all different traditions, all different rhythms, that excitement that they bring. And so let's introduce our next guest, comadre.
Absolutely. Finally, I've heard so much about her. You've shared with me, all the beautiful gifts she's brought to your life and how she's helped you to maintain your health and well-being. And I just can't wait for the day to meet her in person. But I'm just so honored to have her with us today. And I'd like to introduce her. She is Akiyo Mineo-Aldis. She is a child development specialist and a healing arts practitioner, born in Kanagawa, Japan. Akiyo's life took a turn in 1991 when she married and relocated to San Francisco, California, where she currently resides with her 2 daughters. She then embarked on a journey, blending her passion for child development with a profound interest in the healing arts, which led her on a professional path to her expertise and support of preschool programs and a commitment to nurturing young minds within the educational system. Akiyo is driven by her thirst for knowledge and her passion for holistic wellness. Akiyo continues to expand on her expertise in Jureichi, energy healing, Bowen techniques, healing practices for women, uterine massage, and body work. In addition to her professional pursuits, she is also a published author. Akiyo Mineo stands as a testament to the power of combining passion with purpose, weaving together her expertise in child development and her dedication to holistic health and healing to positively impact the lives of others in her community and beyond. So welcome, Akiyo. So honored to have you here with us, and look forward to hearing your story and a little bit about your background and where you come from and how you grew up and just your journey, your heartfelt journey, all those hard-earned teachings and wisdom and your cultural teachings as well. Anything that comes out of your heart that you feel is important and just describes who Akiyo is. I'd like to welcome you here to let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. My name is Akiyo, means fall. I was born in November. So in Japanese, fall is Aki. So I'm representing the fall or autumn. But my name came to was a little story that my grandpa from mother's side, he has so many daughters, so he's expert of naming girls. But also there's some consideration that my dad had crush on a girl named Aki. Mm-hmm. So that secretly that is slipped into my name. I found out that when I was like 54.
Wow.
My dad confessed.
The truth is always revealed. Huh?
Yeah. Not only the season, that also the name that he really liked. Mm-hmm. That girl. Actually, she was cousin, I believe.
Wow. Interesting.
And then there's a little mistake on my bio. My daughters are already grown up, not living with me, but I have 2 cats, Taro and Sakura, living with me.
The babies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was born in Japan, and traditionally, oldest son take care of the parents. So my dad was oldest of 4 boys. So I lived with my grandma, and I learned so much from her. And I can say I was her favorite. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So my interest in traditional medicine, not Western medicine, started through my grandma. Mm-hmm. So when I had cough, she picked the herb from the outside and make tea. Mm-hmm. And another time was when all the family had flu. She went to a little creek and picked up worms in the river. Mm-hmm. And she cooked it, boiled it, and made us drink the broth. Mm. And then my temperature went down. Mm. And also my uncle took that, and that his temperature went down. But his wife, she didn't believe, and she hates worms or snakes. So anything without legs.
Right, right.
So she said, I'm not going to take this. And then she had extra 3 days of fever.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. And I'm always interested in healing art, like Japanese shiatsu.
Body work.
Yeah. So I learned when I was young. Well, my teacher, actually, 12th grade teacher, my PE teacher said, well, you guys not going to participate or learn anything important in this time because everybody's concentrate and studying for the entrance exam for the colleges. So he said, well, let's use this time wisely. I'll teach you something you can take and use forever. And one was CPR. And another one was shiatsu. And one more thing, ukemi in judo. So that you're not going to hurt when you fall.
Yeah.
So then I start reading and studied and learned which point on your body can alleviate the pain from cramps, headache, stomach ache. I didn't want to take medicine, so I just tried to do everything natural, and it worked. So then I came here and I finished my education at City College of San Francisco. And then so I took 1 semester at the State University, but I was like, this classroom is too crowded. The students are so young. And then I'm not learning something I really want to learn. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go to massage school.
Yeah.
And the City College was wonderful that the union had the money for the professional development. So I get to utilize those money to take classes. So that money was given to me to learn something I want to use in my life. So the Jureichi that Debbie was given from me was from Victoria Liu. That she's living in Taiwan right now, but she found me when I was giving the massage at the school for the students. You have to do that clinic time. And she invited me to learn from her. She said, you have good energy. You don't have to do so much. So she took me in, trained me 1 year without money. I didn't pay anything. Just help her massage practice and learn from her a lot. So that's the blessing that Deborah has, and then a lot of my clients at the Latino Commission.
So let me stop you right there and interject, Akiyo.
Yeah.
Because when I met Akiyo, and we met because we were salsa dancing. And so in this, a mutual friend knew I had some struggles with my body. And at that time, I had horrible TMJ, couldn't open my mouth. My shoulders were so tight, I could not raise my hand past, let's say, the height of your shoulder. And my body, as Akiyo says, was very angry. And so I began, she said, you know what? I can help you. I said, okay. I began to see Akiyo and this practice of Jureichi, and maybe you can share a little bit about, Akiyo, what that is, because the practice itself is not a very common technique. So my understanding is that there was the master teacher, and the master trained, I believe, 5. And one of those teachers is the teacher that Akiyo studied under.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what she does. But it's a conversation with her hands and my body, because I don't know how she knows exactly where to go where my body's angry. But I can tell you, today I can have full range motion on my arms. No more TMJ. I haven't had that for years. But just the amazing knowledge and intuition and just the ability of her hands to just travel over your body and knows how to push and regulate the energy so that can come into balance. But Akiyo, can you share a little bit more of that relation? Because your hands and you know exactly where to go, and I'm not sure how that works, or how does the energy, or how do you do that?
Okay. So Victoria, she created Jureichi, not Reiki. Jureichi, Ju is soft, like judo, Ju.
Mm-hmm.
Soft, and Rei is spirit, and Ki is energy. So Reiki is the well-known technique, but Jureichi is totally different practice, and there's a 9 component, but I only learned 1 or 2. We didn't have enough time to teach me all 9 components.
Mm-hmm.
So I only use 1 out of it.
Wow. I can imagine if you knew the 9, I'd probably be flying.
Well, so what Victoria told me is when you're in the pain, your energy is used to fight or work with it. And so that all your thinking go to the pain,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
discomfort.
Right.
So in order to achieve your goal, like spiritual, emotional goal, your body has to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
the first step is alleviate the pain. So once you experience that state, that no pain,
Mm-hmm.
then you can go higher level, like more spiritual matter or your goal. But when you're fighting with the pain, that's very difficult to do. So what we can offer as a Jureichi practitioner is that experience the no pain state.
Mm.
Can you come over right now?
So we work toward that.
So important. I totally understand what you're saying. I've been, dealing with the low back disc and bone-on-bone hip for several years now, and the pain can really consume you. It really just takes so much of my energy, and just trying to keep going and with my daily work and pushing through the pain. But I know when I have had the experience of short spurts of time of being liberated from that pain, it's such a freedom to be able to get out of that. So the fact that you're able to do that, and just give somebody some relief, any amount of time of relief is so vital, especially when you're dealing with that on a chronic basis all the time.
So why, Akiyo, out of the many different techniques, why did you choose that?
Because I got the one-on-one training from her and I practiced a lot. I feel most comfortable using Jureichi technique, but also through the training, not only Jureichi, but my hands are pretty smart. My teacher always used smart hand. Your hands must be smart, knowing where to go.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. And then Victoria was someone who can see the energy, and then she can, like X-ray eyes. She can see the organs. But
Oh, wow.
someone who's gifted person, it's almost impossible to teach me 100% what she does because I don't have the same talent.
Mm-hmm.
I always said, it's probably easy for you to see it, but not for me.
So because of the fact that you don't have that ability, do you feel like you rely more on your intuition to scan the body? Are you utilizing your spirit more to get in touch and tap into where that pain is coming from and how to relieve it?
I trust the intuition.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because many of the clients who has pain, the body is so talkative.
I think I know what you mean. Yes.
Yeah.
Very loud.
Yes. Loud and clear.
Absolutely. Sometimes we don't want to hear it. It's talking so loud, we're like, I don't want to hear that right now. Tomorrow.
Yeah. So in Bowen technique, we always say the first touch, that means the emergency is over.
Mm-hmm.
So same as the Jureichi, when you've put the hand on the body, the client's body,
Mm-hmm.
say, you're okay. You'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
That comfort.
That's all these intention.
It reminds me of a baby when baby's crying and the mother picks up the baby, and that seems like that same feeling, like it's okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Mama's here. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how do you feel, like you said a lot of your influence came from your grandmother?
Mm-hmm.
How have you been able to cultivate some of those teachings that you were so blessed to learn from her, and in the work that you do, especially when we're talking about, child development? I would think there's probably a lot of teachings that you learned from your grandmother, whether she knew she was teaching you them or not, but just her way with you and how you can incorporate that in the work that you do with children.
That's the hardest part. Telling the truth, I get into child development not because I like kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the pure enjoyment learning about brain development. My teacher, Nina Mogar, I met at City College. The first class is always brain development. How important to understand the brain development so that everything makes sense. And some of the mainstream teaching or curriculum are not really go along with the brain development. So understanding children is important and then interesting. So I am not the super nurturing person, but I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps me to stay in the field.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, last 20 years, I haven't been in the classroom. I've been admission. So I've enrolled kids to a program. That was my job. So I really do more coaching with the parents.
Oh, okay. Wonderful.
And being this age is a quite advantage because just like grandmother, like grandma, my grandma, everybody's grandma,
Mm-hmm.
not the parent, grandmother is like, all you can do is nurture and love and enjoy the time with the kids, right?
That's your role.
Not always the case, but when my kids are small, I took kids to Japan. My mom was so understanding with my older daughter. Like my mom was telling my daughters, like, see, mom's not understanding you. Aya, my daughter's Aya. Aya-chan's so small, but she's a big sister. That doesn't mean she doesn't need mom. Like, oh, mom, I wish you told me when I was that age. Because always like, you're a big girl, you're a big sister. You have to look after your little brother.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
wow. My mother, as soon as she became grandmother, she became such understanding person. So the being mature is a big advantage in working in child development and also as a healer, because my life experience will have seen a lot, being that, that expression in English, I don't know exactly, but we already experienced or seeing. So I can be like a little bit more like observer, not the person in the drama right now.
So, Akiyo, you come from a very traditional place, Japan,
Mm-hmm.
and then you were relocated here to the U.S. and to San Francisco, which some consider very progressive.
Yes.
And so you've had the experiences to be able to reflect, right? The differences in culture and thought and just in differences in general, right? What do you feel? What do you feel when you think about body healing and when you think about the attention in order for the body to operate in an optimum way? What do you think are some of the difference between the Western approach and traditional approaches?
Well, Japan is now, it's very westernized. So my mother is 100% Western medicine believer, but my grandmother was not, because she was the generation that, making everything by hands and, and believe in my family, just jump to my family religion. It's Shintoism. So they're the gods, so many gods in Japanese Shintoism. And also we are told when you die, you become a god. So worshiping the ancestors is a big part of Japanese life. Sometimes went to extreme, but I like what I learned, that we all become God.
We have a God within us.
Yeah, so that is the base of my belief. And then also I was a missionary from Mormon church. I went on my mission for 18 months. So I learned Christianity based on the Mormon church and also Catholic church. So the difference, because we believe in reincarnation, will be born again. Our soul travels and come to this world many times. Keep growing, keep learning, keep improving. And every time we have purpose of our lives. And Christianity, most of the time, that life is only one way, not coming back to this life. So once you die, we go to next stage and go next stage. And the resurrection, go next stage. But we believe we become God, but come back. Like these circular motion. But actually it should be spiral. Because every time we come this world and then die and go to next world and come back, it should be keep developing and then growing. So it's spiral, not the one big circle, same place again and again.
Ascending up?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
Oh, okay.
There's some language, but thank you for clarifying.
You're doing beautiful. You're doing beautiful.
So difference on the body and the view of the body.
The body, for instance, after baby is born here, I was sent home like same day. In Japan, well, traditionally, 21 days, you have to be resting. Only thing you would do is go to bathroom and give baby milk, breastfeed. Everything else, the people around you will do it so that all you have to do recovery and the baby. So at least 7 days after birth of the baby, you are staying in a hospital and you fed very tasty and nutritious meal, and other people change the baby, bathe the baby, bring the baby to you when you have breastfeeding time, or you can go there to breastfeed your baby. But moving around, especially putting the head down below your breast level, is prohibited. But here, when I came back home from the hospital, especially after the second baby, still have to take care of the older child, still have to cook. And some friends, my mom came and helped me. But without that, I didn't have luxury stay in bed for 21 days.
Right.
So you are supposed not to read books or anything, to use your eyes too much after your baby is born. So that part is very different, how to take care of the body after the childbearing. In a way, I wish I get to have baby in Japan and then enjoy the 7 days of luxury.
And is there the purpose for that?
Yes. So, if you have natural birth, your pelvis is open and coming back together. Breastfeed help to shrink the uterus, right? But also the pelvis have to come back together. And then a lot of women I know have, after the birth of baby, the pelvis didn't come back in balance. And then starting having a problem with the hips, a pain in the hips, legs. Then Japan, you just not move. So that help the pelvis come back in the right position by resting. Just need to reset. And then our body takes that 21 days to do that. But here, that's not considered because medical field mainly male dominate, even OBGYN.
And is there a particular reason why you were saying that you shouldn't bend over?
I think it's because the head, it's called in Japanese that they say something blood related. It's called chinomichi, that path of blood. So when you have baby, 21 days, you can wash your hair. Because traditionally Japanese wash hair in the tub on the floor level. So your head go down and that's not good for you. Here you can take shower, so you're standing up. Maybe different story.
Right.
So, comadre, I know there must be 101 things going through your mind right now. Because this is your field as well.
A massage, yeah.
And womb care. And I'm just wondering, what are some of those thoughts that are maybe coming across your mind?
It's interesting because you said, how does her hands are magic? How do they know what to do or where to feel or what? And that's why I was asking her, are you working off of, your knowledge of your mind of what you know, or are you utilizing your hand and letting your spirit guide yourself to the parts of the body that need that healing? And I know for me, it's interesting because I've been a dancer for so many years, and I'm just 40 years of using my legs and dancing with my feet and offering prayers, in motion that way. But in doing that for that many years, I had a knack and a passion, like you say, to massage. It started with my mother at a very young age when she got really sick and she couldn't respond to me because she was so medicated. And the only way I can connect with her spiritually was to touch her. Like you say, that first touch, like everything's going to be all right. And then that would just bring her back whenever I would touch her. And so then I learned very young, like, well, if you keep rubbing her, her spirit will keep being here present. Like she'll be in her body if you keep touching her. So through the years and with the danzantes, all the other dancers, somebody's always getting hurt. I'm like, let me rub it, let me let me massage it, let me fix it. And it just seemed like a natural thing after a while where I just could intuitively feel where they were tight or where the injury needed assistance or opening or stretching or whatever that was. And so when I started my passion in that dance, it segued into the passion like you for the healing arts and body work and massage. And it's interesting to me because it was like, okay, so I'm not dancing that much with my feet right now, but I feel like my hands are dancing. Every time I work on somebody, I'll do these maneuvers and then they're like, oh, I like what you did last time. Can you do it? And I'm like, I don't remember what I did last time because it just came out of my spirit. Remind me what I did. And I might use that one technique that one time on that one patient, but I might not never do it again if I'm allowing the spirit to work through me. It just seems like when I get my mind out of the way and I just let spirit guide my hands, they always show me where I need to go. And I'm just curious if that's the way it works for you as well. When you're working on somebody, you can just intuitively feel that. And not to say it doesn't help us to know the body and the parts of the body and how everything is connected, but it just seems for me like it just takes the healing to another level when I let my spirit come through.
Yes, exactly. That's my teacher saying, smart hand. It's like a magnetic. It's like I go there. And in the middle of the session, sometimes I hear a very, very strong feeling to ask one question.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
And I believe that when we are connected with our higher self or trance, the client's higher self or whoever guardian angel or somebody will tell me what to do.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, that's it.
It's like, go there, ask the question. What did you eat?
Why are you so hot and angry there?
Yeah. What happened? Like this, my friend used to do session and ask me, like, what happened at this 5 years old? You look so sad. What? That happens many, many times. I think most of the body work practitioners have the same experience. And I believe that, the connecting to the higher self or universe or sometimes ancestors.
Yes.
They all want us to be happy.
Yes.
And so many times they help, like just give little nudge, impression or inspire enlightenment.
Yes.
Just giving a little hint. And I have been seeing ancestors. I was in a dream, ancestors around me, and then they all want me to do something, but they don't say it.
They feel with the passion, but they don't tell you what the purpose is, right?
They're just looking at me and it's like, okay, I'll do this. I will do this. So at the moment, you guys going to help me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to do this. I want to help my client. Help me. Help me. When I work with my client, help me.
And they will. They're
Yeah,
just waiting for that
it's
permission to end that invitation
right.
to serve as well.
But that's a real, like, staring at you, waiting. Wait until I say something. It's like, come on, just give me a hint.
Now, Akiyo, you came back not too long ago and did some studying in Japan around womb care.
Oh, yeah. So we all women have uterus. So then the uterus is one of the organ, generation to generation, holding experiences, sadness and the emotion is somehow stay there and then not liberated. So what I learned was everybody with uterus, regardless your identity, we can connect to the universe very quickly compared to the people who didn't born with uterus.
Mm-hmm.
So we can connect our universe way easier if we set aside our brain. So relieve the pain and sadness, the being women or oppression, those can be released and then we can shine, we can grow as goddess. So to transform to the true goddess, we have to heal our womb and the uterus. So that's the technique I learned, the 4 component with working with the subconscious. So work with that by expressing and then switching that we don't have to be like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
For instance, I want to achieve a tiny, tiny goal. How do we change it? Instead of working on the 5% of our brain power, easier to work with 95%, which is such a big part of myself. So then have a breathing technique to release those built up negative or sadness in the womb by using breath. And also at the end, we connect with the practitioner and then go to massage.
So what I'm hearing is that actually what we've been carrying in our womb has been like blocking the ability to be free and liberated in order to help us to achieve those goals or those intentions that we would like. Because we're carrying that could be from generations past, which we call epigenetics, right? That we carry within our body.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually being a barrier for our liberation today in real time.
Yes. Thank you.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And the massage is a very, very light touch. And the client who received said, feel like I'm baby and my mom is touching so carefully and lovingly. So I feel like I can go back to the baby.
Healing the inner child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's something that, we have talked quite a bit about, comadre, of the part that our organs carry that emotional strain. It carries those things that get stuck in our organs.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Not only those emotions of our lifetime, but I know for personally, I carry a lot of my mother's pain and my grandmother's pain. It's not all mine. How Maestro always teaches to, they're not all your tears. Those are your grandma's tears. Those are your mama's tears. That intergenerational trauma and pain. But it seems like I'm feeling by the work that you do, Akiyo, that you help to open those channels and help release some of that pain in the work that you do. Because how do we all do it to ourselves? most of us women don't even know we're carrying all that there in that area, and or how much we're carrying in that area. So I know from the women that I've been privileged to work on, it was like it was their first time even acknowledging that part of their body for the first time, to be touched there or to even know what's in there. It's interesting. So if we're not even acknowledging that part of our body, our womb, because we're always in our head and we're always thinking and using our mental capacities, or not connecting with this part of our body, how are we going to know that we're carrying so much pain and repressed emotion there if we never acknowledge it? I feel that the work that you do in your reproductive health area brings a lot of awareness and healing to that area, so that they are able to acknowledge that part of themselves and to release a lot of pain that they were not aware of before. Do you feel like that?
Yes, a lot. And in the past, I did a Zoom class helping general massage, but mainly to help women for the incontinence. And also just remind ourselves that we are women and we should enjoy being women.
Embrace it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I tell you, we need an in-person 3-day seminar to be talking about these things that pertain to women, right? Because you don't have these conversations anywhere else. And so it's like, where do you get this information from? There's very limited access to this type of traditional information that really our ancestors have been sharing and taught many, many years ago. The sad thing about this is that we're out of time and we're barely getting into all this conversation. But Akiyo, before we end, can you give a word of advice to this next generation, or maybe even women? Can you leave with us with some words of advice?
Okay. Yes. So imagine we are little droplets of the ocean, little droplets of ocean. And now is the time that women are more recognized and freeing ourselves. And this is time that our ancestors, grandma, great-grandma, auntie, everybody's behind us. And I'm just a little one drop of water, but all the water, everybody's drop water became an ocean, and we are creating wave. So we have to ride on it.
So we need to go forward, is what I hear that you're saying, right? To ride that wave in a good way, right?
Yeah.
Honoring, yes.
And we're all interconnected.
And we're all interconnected.
Absolutely.
Right? And as women, that is one of our greatest strengths. When we can recognize that sisterhood and support each other and uplift each other and inspire each other, and not give in to the temptation that we hear all around us in the social media about, that pits us against each other. And so, I just want to say, I hope you have enjoyed this conversation. It's been a wonderful conversation that we've had, and I'm sure it's one that we could probably come back to other chapters of this, right?
Yes.
But, thank you. I just want to thank our listeners out there for joining us today. And also, comadre, I know it's been a great time for you as well, right?
Oh,
this is your subject.
Yes, I'm totally resonating. Totally resonating. I want to continue the conversation in person, Akiyo, when the time is right.
Yeah. And so with that, we just want to thank you. We want to thank you for joining us today. We appreciate your support. Please, if you get a chance, go and like us. Go on to the National Compadres Network and go to the podcast and give us a thumbs up there. Let us know how we're doing. And please join us again next month as we have the privilege to join you through the airs in recording the Healing Generation podcast by the National Comadres Network. So with that, bendiciones.
Bendiciones. Thank you, Maestra.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Akiyo.
And thank you, Akiyo.
Bye. Thank you.
For more information about Healing Generations and the Healing Generations Institute, visit nationalcompadresnetwork.org and be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with our new releases.